Hello everyone and welcome back to Ember BTC channel. Today's video will be an altcoin market update. We'll take a quick look at some of the major alts like Ethereum and Solana. Then we'll cover a few other alts that we've covered on the channel before. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So starting off with Ethereum, if you recall a quote I made in the last video, which was what we would like to do is do the opposite of what most people do, which is buy high and sell low for a loss. We would like to look to buy when price is low. So if you look at this as a range low and this as a range high, we take our fib tool, we extend it across. You can see that we are in and around that 618 level. We're at our key SNR zone. I had mentioned that I was beginning to ladder in to long positions, and if we had have got a bearish underside retest with continued momentum, that would have been my trigger to potentially cut my losses and accept that maybe we are going for a deeper retracement down into this 3k 350 region. But in this instance, I guess you can say I got lucky where price found support in a nice confluence area. While we had some nice laddered longs, we started to break to the upside. We found some resistance in this region, which was a first area to take some profits. Again, we covered this in the previous video, but then we flipped back on to our key SNR zone and we've pushed up here. So the next region for potential profit taking, or maybe just even concerned for a retracement, is if we get up into this region, we might find some sort of resistance. I do think if we get a pullback into this region and BTC is in a similar region and it's not, I guess, shit in the bed, this would be a really good area to potentially look to add to longs or for long trades if offered. But this price action has been really clean, really nice, and even if we were to break up through here on and not give the deeper retracement and kind of force traders to chase price and bid higher, I think that this would be a nice zone to flip. Just to look at this as a standard range play that we kind of have discussed numerous occasions on this channel, where we have range deviation of the range low. Now we have these range highs and also these, I guess, stacked highs where there's probably liquidity residing above, or some stacked liquidity. It would be a really nice area for us to push up through. Of course, maybe not in one big candle, but I think we could cut through this quite easily. And then, of course, it would be fantastic if we could get back to range highs after deviating at range lows. So Solana is another one where in that video I discussed anything below sub 200 was a really nice bid to start laddering in some spot buys. And then of course we didn't quite get into that region, but I thought this 187 would have been a key area to look for some sort of spot buys. But I did mention anything below 200, and especially this mid-range point was really nice. You can see we kind of had an SFP of this low over here, and you can see that the order flow was really nice here, where we had the sweep here, the little sweep, pushed up, found resistance in around this region, dropped down, found support in around that mid-range point of this range. So from this low to this high, we broke up past it. So you can consider this a break in structure of this, I guess, resistance level, especially if you want to extend it across. So support, resistance, broke up through it. This key SNR zone was always going to be a potential area for concern, just given its historical significance on this previous price action. We dropped down, really nice support in here. Again, this level, similar to down here, just quite standard order flow, finding support at previous resistance. pushed up with nice strength through this region. Even on the lower time frame, we got a minute flip of this level, so it's not significant. I would like another opportunity. The market might not give it, but a real flip of this level where we come back down on a slow retracement and then see real momentum off it. Of course, every trader wants to see that at his regions, but just given the significance of this region, I think it would be quite nice. I do anticipate that this area, similar to Ethereum, will potentially be a significant reversal point for a retracement, just given its untapped resistance. So I am anticipating some resistance there, but if we could push up and flip back on to this range, again, that would be all well and good. If we take a quick look at hype, you can see that the lines are still drawn on from the last video, but I did highlight in that video that this was a really nice region, and if we had been up here at the time, I would have thought that the next real key area for long-term spot buys would have been this region that's already outlined on the chart, which has ended up just being a really nice region in general. Of course, in hindsight, we look like geniuses, but it was just quite a key level that looked quite obvious. We've pushed up now, we're back in around that our next resistance level, and we want to see, can we push through it? Again, similar to ETH and Solana, I expect we might find some resistance in this region, but that just really gives the opportunity for price to reflip or reclaim this level for the next leg up towards all-time highs. ENA is another token that is a regular in these altcoin market updates. We had quite a sharp drop through. I think there was a lot of controlled selling in this region and then some insider selling on this news pump, which then led to quite a significant, almost FUD selling, where people were kind of, I think, a little bit ticked off with what happened. But we got below this low here, and I think in hindsight, it will become quite an obvious trade. You have this tree drive pattern break up, and then you want to see, can we reclaim this region? And then I think that's probably a really nice trade. And of course, hopefully the trading gods can push it back up towards the range highs. And then finally, we'll finish with our usual pump, and similar to hype, there are still the lines on the chart from the last video where you can see the idea of this 618. I was hoping maybe it would swoop down in around this area. I thought this might be more of a clearer key and SNR zone, but maybe it could have been expanded up into this region, which I think I might have talked about in a previous video. But anyway, we found support in around that 618. You can see we get this nice push up, breaking this range high. So you could argue that there was a change in market structure here. Then we got the retracement back into this region, this consolidation in around the 618. So kind of forming the pattern that was on the chart at the time. So this one here, this red line. So drop down, create the final low, come up, break a structure, retrace into the region, and then that's your long trigger here for the run up, which you can see is exactly what played out. Came down, back up, dropped down, we created this low, and then a little bit of chop in here, but then we broke up. You can see big green candles, lots of momentum. I'm sure there's a lot of volume confirmations in here as well. Then we get that retracement into this consolidation area. And also, if you extend this across, you could argue that this is just a standard key SNR zone as well, given its support, and then there was kind of some resistance in it. but then we pushed up through it, came back down, really nice long reclaim and push back up. And again, I'll keep reiterating it. Pump is one of the few tokens that actually has cash flow because they actually generate money and profit. So they can afford to buy as much of the token as they'd like. They can give the market makers as much money to run around with and play with as they'd like. And I think fundamentally it is a good token to buy because there is, I guess, essentially whales behind it. So now we're in and around this high over here. You can see price is trying to flip that level, and then if it continues to push on, the next area similar to most of the altcoins and the altcoins that we've covered in the video, there is some resistance overhead, which I can imagine might be an area where maybe the market in general is forced to retrace. So that's all for today's market update video. I'll be back next Tuesday with our BTC update. So if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, leave a comment on maybe what alts you're looking at or your thoughts on the market, and I'll see you guys in the next one.